Alrighty, let's move on to the Packers playing in New York against the Giants. The Packers escaping. I'm just going to say escaping with a
Mm,
27-20 win after losing their last two.
escaping's a little bit strong, don't you think?
No, if Jameis Winston doesn't throw that interception at the end,
You
it could go
still,
both
it
ways.
could, but at the same time, our defense was pretty solid. They could not stop the run. I'll give it. They kind of chose which poison they were gonna get killed by. I get that, but they held them. It was a windy
Yeah.
day. I had to emphasize that the kickers all struggled, and everyone struggled to catch the ball.
I mean, I would say that Jameis Winston looked pretty comfortable running that offense. I think
Oh yeah,
that
but he always looks comfortable running any offense. He just throws the ball in too many picks in unfortunate moments.
well, and
That's
that's what I'm saying is he looked good for most of the game until, of course, when he had
it,
his Jameis
and
Winston
and
moment,
here's
just
the
like we
thing.
talk about Carson Wentz moment.
This
So
game, he should have had 4 picks, 4 or 5 picks.
yeah,
They were dumb drops by the cornerbacks. They
yeah,
were they were in their chest.
hmm
On one of them, one of the cornerbacks got ran into by the safety, by Xavier McKinney. And another one, they thought that they had an open lane, so they ran before they caught the ball. And another one, they got ran into another player. So you see these
yeah,
things kept on happening. He should have had 4 or 5 picks. This game should have been totally different. And this
but he
game,
didn't.
they didn't. And that happens. Sometimes it doesn't go your way. The defense isn't always, they're cornerbacks for a reason. They're good at stopping. They're not always going to catch those balls. A
Yeah,
wide receiver should catch those balls.
yeah,
Speaking of, none of our wide receivers could catch.
yeah,
The only one that could catch anything was probably Christian Watson. But Dobbs had timely drops. These were momentum shift types of drops. You had Josh Jacobs dropping the ball and then he got injured, which that
hmm
one's a tough pill to swallow too. But I do have some thoughts on that. We'll get to that.
hmm
And every single wide receiver could not catch the ball or get into a position where they're going to catch the ball. And I know the stat line looks like Jordan Love didn't have the best of games. If you watch that game, it was a fantastic game by him. If you're throwing dimes to the point that they're right in your wide receiver's chest and they're not catching, and you're still finding ways to convert on third and fourth downs and still getting your team in positions to win. That's the best your quarterback's going to be able to do.
yeah. To me, it just seemed like it started to look like the past 2 Packers weeks, and it was basically like, okay, the defense is playing well, but the offenses can't get anything really going, and then to me, it wasn't until Malik Willis came in after
Yeah.
Jordan Love got injured, and he, like, provided the spark
I had
that
I have a opposing opinion.
that was, like,
Oh, I love
what the
Malik, by the
Packers
way.
needed.
I love Malik. I think Matt LaFleur, the way he runs his offense is more tailored to Malik Willis, but Malik Willis is still a system quarterback. Never gonna advocate for him to be the starter. And some Packer fans out there are. I think that's crazy. But my pushback is I don't think we started playing great until Josh Jacobs went out. I think that was the catalyst. That was the key moment that Matt LaFleur was like, okay, we can't run the ball the way we always run the ball. And he shifted his offense. The moment that Josh Jacobs went down, you saw that we did more pass plays and they were working. We did more unique plays, more RPOs. It wasn't let's do a zone run, let's do a halfback run to the. It was more unique pass plays at a necessity. But that's what we need to do. Why are we running so many times when it's so predictable? I love Josh Jacobs. Use them and utilize them, but don't rely heavily on the run in a pass heavy NFL. I mean, watch the game again and you're going to see the second he goes down, Jordan Love started playing a lot better.
I mean, I don't know. I think that maybe, but so you said something very interesting to me that Matt LaFleur runs this offense kind of catered to Malik Willis, but
I think I should emphasize more that Matt LaFleur, he comes from the Shanahan tree, right?
mhm.
That whole tree thrives on system quarterbacks. You have to be in this system. Don't shift from the system unless it's dire. But Jordan Love is not a system quarterback. He is the total opposite of that. He is a gunslinger. And sometimes you're going to make a mistake. But this whole idea that Jordan Love is turnover prone, if you look at his stats this whole year, he has one of the lowest turnover rates of all quarterbacks. But he also isn't allowed to throw the ball anymore, so he's being pampered. He's being held back. And this game, near the tail end of it, when Josh Jacobs went down, you could see, oh, potential. He has great throws. He has great IQ. And that throw he had to Christian Watson that pretty much got us the win. It's one of the most beautiful throws I've ever seen. And that's what happens because it was a necessity to throw because we can't rely on Josh Jacobs.
Mm, I mean,
Did you see that throw to
eh,
to Christian Watson? That is the thing of beauty.
no, but I mean, I don't really like,
I will make
okay.
th like, that's again, Jordan Love
You're
lives
just
in
like so infatuated with Jordan Love.
no, no,
Yeah, you are, DJ. You are.
no. I mean, you
I'm sure quarterbacks I'm sure if we look at as many QB throws, I'm sure we can find plenty of most beautiful quarterback throws we've ever seen.
the thing is that the criticism for Jordan Love is that he could throw dumb throws in trying to make that extended play. I'll give you that. But the throws that he makes where he threads the needle, that's a rare trait when you're throwing it down 60 yards. It's rare. That doesn't happen. Some quarterbacks could do it. You got Patrick Mahomes, and I'm not comparing. I'm just saying it's a rare thing to have that much accuracy and have such a deep ball. He doesn't have it all the time. But when he does, these are beautiful, beautiful throws. Again, I want to see what the kid could do eventually. Like I want get the get the seatbelt off, get the airbags off. Just if he throws a pick, he throws a pick. I'm done with Matt LaFleur being safe. There's no more safe. He's 27 years old. Let's see what he could do. Every single time we're in a dire situation, think about it. The Cowboys, we're in a dire situation, and you let him throw the ball, we get into a position where we could at least tie or win. And then what happens when we get into a position where we should win? Matt LaFleur runs the ball against the Eagles. He at least got us in a position where we could try to win the game. Matt LaFleur runs the ball. And you saw that. I texted you at that moment. I'm like, who the runs a shotgun run on a fourth down? In every single position where we should be letting him throw the ball, we're running it. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, I can't obviously I don't know what goes into Matt LaFleur's play calling. I mean, I don't really have that opinion that he like
It's been more this year than any other year, but I feel like this year's the year that Jordan Love has developed a little bit more, but he's still acting like he's and going against the 49ers throwing dumb picks. He could be, but at the same time, he's also making these throws that are allowing us to win these games that we probably shouldn't be winning.
mhm. Yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at the bigger picture, it's not so again, you don't want to make a living off of having to thread the needle all the time because that is when you actually throw picks often, right? And so,
Sure.
of course, that's a great quality to have. These are all great qualities to have. But it sounds like the bigger problem is just the offense in general. And it sounds like one, and this has been happening for the past several weeks for the Packers, is the receivers are dropping a lot of balls. So that I think is deflating the offense keeping drives alive,
Yes.
which then entails, maybe Matt LaFleur being like, "Ugh, I mean, we gotta reestablish the run because
Mm, yeah, but he's causing us to have to throw these third and longs when he's running two consecutive. runs that lose yards. I get you have to establish the run. But there are moments where the run just needs to be abandoned for at least a moment. Like, let's get to a position where we could score. And if the run isn't working, which this whole season it hasn't been working unless we're in the goal line. Jordan Love probably, I get it. If you get the easy run for a touchdown, let Josh Jacobs have them all day. It's gonna look bad on Jordan Love because he's not. He probably should have 20 something touchdowns. Cool, who the cares? Josh Jacobs get all those. But when you're in your own side of the ball, maybe don't run it 3 consecutive times if you're losing yards every time.
Well, yeah, it's definitely conservative. So I guess the bigger question is, and I mean, I said it last week, is that some of the times it feels like he's just making these play calls because it feels like he doesn't trust the offensive line. And sometimes, when you watch some of Jordan Love's throws, it feels like he's getting rid of the ball earlier than, the timing of that specific route because it feels like the pocket is collapsing and he himself may not trust the offensive line. So I don't know. I mean,
I I agree to some extent, but yeah, our offensive line is terrible right now. It's the worst I've seen in maybe 3 or 4 years. So that's gonna affect Jordan Love. I get that, and that affects Matt LaFleur's play calling. I get that. But you know what helps a bad offensive line? It's if you're gonna ru
establishing the run.
uh, okay, question, why do we establish the run? What's the
So you could do play action.
Thank you. We were in the first 6 weeks of our season, we were the number 1 team for play action in the whole NFL. And in the last 4 weeks, we have become the last, like literally in the bottom 3. How the do we go with that
It's
disparity?
it's also, I mean, play action is very, very obviously a big part of it because every offense has play action now. But another reason you establish the run is because you want to keep the defense honest.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
want them to be, you know, if you're not running the ball, then they don't load the box, and then they play this, soft type coverage defense where it's like, yeah, okay, go ahead, pick up 2-3 yards on
yeah.
an underneath pass, and we'll just tackle you before the sticks. So there's a lot of things going into it, but I mean, I understand where you're coming from, and of course, like you never want to get into a one dimensional,
Yes.
play call, or
I
you don't want to become one dimensional, and you definitely like, also can't throw the ball 50 times a game,
yeah.
like, so
Balance.
it is about balance, but, I mean, like I said, I think it's, like, multiple layers. I think it's a combination of the receivers that, are dropping the balls when they need to make catches, which entails, like, makes it seem like the offense is not moving the ball when it absolutely could,
Yeah.
and a combination of, you know, the offensive line, of course. So I mean, we talked about it last week. This Giants pass rush is highly underrated. I mean, they're literally one of the best pass rushers in the league, and they were pressuring Jordan Love a lot in this game, but maybe,
He managed to throw the ball and get us into position so we could have won.
yeah.
I do, I do am I a little concerned at times? Yes. I'm not very concerned about the defense unless injuries happen. That you can't call that. But when it comes to the offense, this game showed me more optimism than concern because it at least showed that Matt LaFleur could finally adapt his play calling. And don't get me wrong, I think we're a worse team without Josh Jacobs. But if he misses a week or two, it might benefit us so we could get our momentum and our rhythm back and then introduce him back so we could have balance.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
What was up with the extra points?
Oof, it's too windy. Both teams couldn't make him. And Jungkook's decent. Like, he's not a bad kicker. So neither of them could make a kick. And
Uh,
so, and just to finish off on our offense, if we could just get some momentum going, Toyotathon is starting pretty soon. What's
uh,
up?
yeah. 5 of your next 7 games are also against the NFC North,
I
so
know, it's going to be tough.
that's gonna be a very interesting Toyotathon.
I think that who wins these games will win the North. That's how crazy we are. We're getting to a point that we're all going to see each other multiple times. And
Yeah. It's gonna be a very tough, schedule here in the next couple weeks. Alrighty, everybody, we will see you next Thursday. Thank you so much for tuning in. We out.
bye, guys.